Stu Count and Pat Hickey here at the Montreal Gazette at the Bell Centre following a 5-2 loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets, the second night in a row by the same score, Pat. Blue Jackets are the worst team in the league, but the Canadiens might be actually the worst team in the league right now.
Well, you know, if you look at the two teams, you take away their first 8 games. The Canadiens were 8-0, Blue Jackets were 0-8. Take away those games, the Canadiens actually have a worse record than the Blue Jackets do.
And tonight the fans were frustrated. You could tell at the Bell Centre. They were booing. They were even booing PK Subban a few times when he was touching the puck. He made a mistake on the third goal. I guess he joins the likes of Ken Dryden and Guy Lafleur and other greats who've been booed in this building. But fans are upset, I think, right now.
Yeah, he said that he was responsible for 2 of the first three Columbus goals. He took the blame for it. Now the third goal, it's kind of funny. I mean, he got caught behind the net, and there was really no support for him. But he said he should have rimmed the puck out and gotten it out of there. Take the simple play. They said that's what his father told him to do earlier. I guess you should listen to Dad.
Well, he said he understood the fans. He said he would have been booing himself if he was up there in the stands also.
Yeah.
He said he had a bad night. Brendan Gallagher, Michel Therrien talks about the process all the time. Gallagher said this team hasn't given up on the process. This team has won before with this system. But it doesn't look like this team's going to make the playoffs now. It took 98 points to make the playoffs last season. They would need 48 points in the last 32 games to hit that mark, which is 24 wins, which seems very unlikely.
Yeah, it seems that, you know, they're in this position now. They're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. But the way they've been playing, only 5 wins in their last 26 games. In 21 of the last 26 games, they've scored 2 or fewer goals. They're just not scoring goals. This was a team that, in the beginning of the season, was scoring lots of goals. I think not having Carey Price has something to do with that. They're not pushing up. They don't have the confidence in the 2 goaltenders that they have to save them if they make a mistake. But at the same time, you know, this team just have to be better.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're only going to score 2 goals, you're not going to win too many games in this league.
No, and I asked Terry in his post-game press conference how much of this blame is on him, how much is on the players, how much is on Carey Price not being here. He said, well, it's on all of that. Okay. But he's got to be really disappointed. His general manager comes out last week, gives him a strong vote of confidence, saying he won't be fired this season, and his team goes out and loses back-to-back games to the worst team in the NHL.
Yeah, it looked like they turned things around a little bit. They won in Toronto on Saturday night. And then you're going up against a team. They don't have their coach. They don't have either of their top 2 goaltenders.
Maybe they don't want John Tortorella back.
Maybe that's it. You know, it's you know, they're 2-0-1 now with Craig Hartsburg behind the bench, and so you know it was there was a lot of hope after that Toronto game, and you're playing a team that's at the bottom of the standings. You would think that you know you come up with some big efforts and close that gap a little bit. They dropped into 11th place. They're only 3 points out of a playoff spot, but it's a moving target. There are so many teams. There's 5 or 6 teams battling for those last 2 spots. And Pittsburgh moved into the 8th spot tonight. They're 3 points ahead of the Canadiens, but they have 2 games in hand.
And Terry almost seems to be grasping at straws. He had some line changes were mixed up. You had Galchenyuk at left wing on the first line with and Pacioretty down on the second line. It was he had Smith Pelly on the power play. He had Brian Flynn on the power play. I think he's trying to do anything he can right now.
You know, he is trying to find ways that are going to work. He switched his defense around a little bit. We saw a lot of Nathan Beaulieu out there with PK tonight. We saw some different looks on the power play. Power play 1 for 6, and you know, until they scored that goal in the third period, Galchenyuk, they just weren't doing anything on the power play, and that was that was where you heard the earliest boos. Yeah. Because they couldn't get the puck into the zone.
Yeah. One of the most interesting things I found tonight was there was a lot of empty seats down in the lower bowl. There was another sellout announced, but I guess season ticket holders are having a hard time getting rid of those tickets, and the scalpers, I imagine, had a pretty rough night. So Canadiens fans are frustrated, and I'm sure Jeff Molson is equally frustrated, but this team certainly does not look like it's going to make the playoffs this season.